Hey basketball fans, what a week it's been in the NBA universe. The playoffs continue to deliver incredible moments night after night, and I've been glued to my screen watching these matchups unfold. Before we dive into today's exclusive scoop, I just want to take a moment to thank everyone who's been supporting this channel through likes and sharing our content. It truly helps us bring you these breaking stories first. The basketball community we're building here is something special, and I'm grateful to be on this journey with all of you hoops enthusiasts. The relationship between Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors appears to have reached its breaking point, with a potential blockbuster three-team trade now emerging as the most likely resolution. After being relegated to benchwarmer status during crucial playoff games, including the Warriors' hard-fought 95-85 Game 1 victory against the Houston Rockets, Kuminga's future in the Bay Area looks increasingly tenuous. Despite the team's success, the absence of the former 7th overall pick from the rotation has raised eyebrows across the league and reportedly created significant tension behind closed doors. According to a detailed proposal from Bleacher Report's Andy Bailey, a complex three-team transaction could send Kuminga to the Washington Wizards while netting the Warriors several valuable pieces to maintain their championship aspirations. In this scenario, Golden State would receive sharpshooter Corey Kispert, veteran center Jonas Valanciunas, and a top-5 protected 2031 first-round pick from Washington. This package represents both immediate reinforcements and future flexibility for a Warriors front office trying to balance present competitiveness with long-term planning around Stephen Curry's remaining prime years. The proposed deal extends beyond just Golden State and Washington, bringing in the Sacramento Kings as a third team to facilitate the transaction. Sacramento would receive a significant haul including Marcus Smart, Buddy Hield, Sadiq Bey, Trace Jackson-Davis, and a top 20 protected 2030 first-round pick from Washington via Golden State. For the Kings, this influx of talent and versatility could address multiple roster needs as they continue their push to become consistent playoff contenders in the competitive Western Conference. For the Warriors, this trade makes strategic sense on multiple levels. Valanciunas would immediately bolster their frontcourt rotation with his career 9.7 rebounds per game, including 2.7 on the offensive glass, an area where Golden State has struggled significantly. Bailey notes that the Lithuanian big man could be a heat-check scorer against reserves, think 2019-20 Montrezl Harrell, but with post-ups and dives to the basket, and has long been an underrated passer, averaging 3.2 assists per 75 possessions over the last 4 seasons. Meanwhile, Kispert represents a potential successor in the Klay Thompson mold, a wing with size, 6'7", who has averaged 2.8 threes per 75 possessions in his career, while connecting at a 38.2% clip from beyond the arc. The Wizards' motivation centers on acquiring Kuminga, whom many around the league still view as possessing star potential, despite his inconsistent role in Golden State. At just 22 years old, the athletic forward could flourish in Washington's rebuild with consistent minutes and a green light to develop. As Bailey argues, Kuminga is the biggest individual prize in this deal, and at 22 years old, he's likely to be younger than some of the players taken in this summer's draft. The addition of Malik Monk alongside Kuminga would give Washington 2 dynamic young talents to build around as they reconstruct their roster. The deterioration of Kuminga's standing in Golden State has been well documented throughout this season. ESPN's NBA insider Shams Charania recently reported that Kuminga's camp is exhausted by the perceived disrespect following his latest benchings. They need him in this series because you think about the athletes that Houston has, Charania explained on NBA Today. This is why they drafted Jonathan Kuminga. This is why they put so much trust in him. But back-to-back games in this play-in tournament, Steve Kerr essentially tells Jonathan Kuminga, "You are not in our rotation. You are not going to be playing." This pattern of benchings has created what many league sources describe as an untenable situation. Tim Kawakami of the San Francisco Standard has gone even further, suggesting that a separation between Kuminga and the Warriors is virtually inevitable this summer. The likely situation is Jonathan Kuminga is not going to be on the Warriors next season, Kawakami stated on 95.7 The Game's Willard and Dibbs show. Things can change, but all things being equal, it was probably going to be a tricky situation for him to come back to the Warriors anyway. With restricted free agency looming and limited cap space across the league, a sign and trade represents Kuminga's most viable path out of Steve Kerr's doghouse. The proposed deal highlights the complex dynamics of NBA roster construction, with 3 teams potentially addressing different competitive timelines and priorities in one transaction. For Golden State, it represents the difficult balance between maximizing Curry's remaining elite seasons while acknowledging that some promising young talents may not develop on the same timeline. For Washington, it's an opportunity to acquire a potential cornerstone at a relative discount due to circumstance. And for Sacramento, it's a chance to add depth, experience, and versatility to a roster trying to break through in the loaded Western Conference. I have to say, as someone who's covered the league for years, these kinds of multi-team deals are fascinating chess moves that reshape franchises in an instant. What do you think about this potential trade, basketball fans? Would the Warriors be making a mistake letting Kuminga go? Or is this the perfect time to flip him for pieces that better fit their timeline? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. I'm particularly interested to hear what you think about Kuminga potentially thriving in Washington with a larger role and more developmental runway. Let's get this basketball conversation going.